Hello and welcome to the Hospitality Institute. Today we're going to be going through the gaming module, and good work getting through to this part now, which is the short answer questions. These slides we're going to go through today really just give you some extra bit of detail and extra bit of content that you can use to help you through the short answer questions. So we're going through each of the different topics with a bit more detail that you might need that will help you sort of provide the responses that you need. You'll see that on the slides it does mention some of the questions that it relates to. That's going to be a big help. That can really sort of help you to sort of find exactly where this content is going to be related to. You know, if you need any further support or any further questions, please reach out to your assessor. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first part of the question is going to ask you, what is the purpose or what are the benefits of a business putting a lot of, effort into the support of their customers. And the main reason for this is, we do realise that gaming is fun and it should be fun, and we want to encourage it to be a fun environment. But for some people, it actually is. It does damage their personal life, their financial life. It can be quite a great amount of impact on themselves. And the government do realise this, and the main concerns are that it does have some great impact on the government. Mainly when it comes down to things like the economy, the social welfare, the personal family issues that can occur from excessive gambling. And we are really talking about people that have identified with having a gambling problem, which is really only 1%, but still it is 1%, and that is quite a few people and quite a few families that we need to support. So we as a venue need to make sure that we are providing the support to these individuals, as much support as we possibly can. We do recognise that in some circumstances it does actually lead to crime, and we'll see that apart from the economic impacts, it can have some greater impacts on the community and on society as a whole. Relationships, we recognise that it can also have an impact on relationships and damage the family. The relationship between the husband and wife and the kids and friends and family. And it can also have impacts on the person's health as well. So we need to recognise that, and as an employee of a venue, of a licensed premises, of a premises that provides gambling services, you need to be there to provide as much support and as much assistance as possible. Don't forget, you're not there to get involved. You're not there to prevent them from gambling. It is entirely their decision to gamble, but you are there to observe the signs, and you are there to provide support if they do request it. The main benefits for the venue putting as much effort into this and supporting the individuals as much as possible. Obviously the reputation is going to improve of that venue. People, will come to the venue and they'll enjoy themselves. They'll come in for a meal and to socialise with family and friends, and they'll go and have a bit of a gamble every now and then. But it won't be seen as a negative environment. Venues that put a lot of effort into the support of their customers, still maintain a loyal customer base, but still have a very sustainable business, as well. By the business putting as much effort into support of their customers, obviously this is going to improve the satisfaction of the customers. It shows that you care about the customers. That is a very important aspect we want to try and get across. You need to show that you are there for them, and by you putting these measures in place, it shows that you care about them. And it's going to also then have an impact on the amount of legal problems that you might have. By you having as much strategy and processes in place, it's going to eliminate or limit the legal problems that you might have. The staff can also feel stressed out if there is a lot of problems, a lot of issues, a lot of customers getting aggressive and break-ins, and when there's a lot of crime and these sort of issues occurring, it does have a great impact on the staff, and we really want to look after the staff as much as possible. Not all the staff gamble. So in some cases, the business needs to be there for them and provide an environment which is enjoyable to the customers, but also enjoyable for the staff as well. Some things that we might recognise in problem gamblers is, if it's there might be some health issues, and that could be due to stress, or might be due to drug or alcohol abuse as well. Financial distress, when there's a problem gambler, it might impact on their work environment. It might impact on them being able to pay their bills, and them being able to support their family and support their lifestyle. And we know that there is evidence that when it does start to get to that point, it can steamroll and it can get out of control quite severely. And financial stress can have an impact on every part of the person's life. When somebody is at that stage, it is very hard to control. It's very hard to manage the individual. It is something that needs to be dealt with. The person, it's not just a get over it attitude. The person does need to get support and does need to get counseling. That's what we're there for, to provide them with these resources. These are free resources that are available. You would have seen from the images that there is a lot of information out there for the customer. Contact cards, brochures, information on the website. There's a lot of support that's there for the customer. You're there to make sure that you know exactly where to go to, and you've got the right resources to provide them with the details of where they can go. Psychological impacts can also have a major impact on the person being able to help themselves and be able to take those steps. For some people, taking those steps to recovery, that first step is in some cases the hardest one. So we need to recognise that, and we need to make sure that we can be there for them and provide them with what they need. This is where your attitude is fundamental, and the attitude that you possess and the attitude that you come across to that customer is absolutely vital. It is one of empathy and caring. We don't feel sorry for that person. We don't show disrespect for that person. We don't know what they're going through. Make sure that you remain professional. You show empathy. And you see all those signs that are up on the screen at the moment. There's a lot of your conduct is absolutely vital, and the business needs to make sure that this code of conduct is developed in consultation with their staff, and staff are very much aware of what the code of conduct is. And then the business is there to support the individual working in a gambling area to make sure that the code of conduct is upheld, and the sufficient training and performance management is provided. So as you can see there, all these attitudes you see on the screen, this is really a very big part of what you need to present to that customer in order for you to be able to support that customer. There is an opportunity, throughout your conversation with the customer, when they start to show signs where they do want assistance and support. As you would have seen by now, there's a lot of information and support available. One of the most effective support mechanisms in place is the self-exclusion scheme. Every business that provides gambling services in this state needs to have a scheme available. It needs to be presented and made available to the customer. And you will see by this, what's on the screen, that there is signage available and information available to the customer. But where it goes to that next stage, that most effective stage, is where you, as the support person in the gambling room, you're there to provide further support, further information on what the scheme is all about. And you'll see on the screen there's a lot of information available that you can be providing to that customer. So the first part is really explaining how it works. That's, I guess, the most important part. They've got questions about how it operates. It really needs them to sign up to it. Somebody else, a third party, cannot sign up the customer to the scheme. It does need to be done by the individual. They need to agree to it. So your information, what you provide to them, is going to be very, very important. Let them know that it might sound a bit confusing, because it is a contract. It is a legally binding contract. For some people, that can be very overwhelming. We need to recognise that. So please certainly do advise that they have this looked over by a legal representative or someone that knows what they're looking at. Have that person available when you're signing them up and they're going through the paperwork. There's nothing hiding. There's nothing hidden. It's really all about the person having the support they need, so they feel comfortable. If they feel comfortable about what they're going into, then there's a much greater chance of the person going through the scheme, coming out to the other end, and still being able to enjoy your wonderful venue and your hospitality, but not have a gambling issue. Okay, so make sure that you provide the information that they need. Make sure that the counselling service is made available to them, because those people at the end of that phone are very experienced of being able to deal with the questions that they might have, and they'll be able to answer those questions. Please do not get involved as a counsellor. If you're not a trained counsellor, you cannot get involved. Let the professionals take care of that for you. Make sure that the person that is responsible at the venue, if they're available, they can come out and take over and provide further information. If not, if they're not available at that time, provide information, provide contact details of that person. Okay. Just one very important fact to consider is that when it comes to the self-exclusion scheme in this state, the minimum in most venues is 6 months. Okay. So, but all the information that you need is available on the site. The last part I'd like to just cover in this video is, what do you do if you notice that somebody has been, has signed up to the self-exclusion scheme, but they've actually come into the venue and they've snuck in and they're trying to access the machines. That is illegal. The person does need to be made aware that they're not able to be in that area whilst they're under the conditions of the scheme. So you do need to make sure that you take the steps to stop them from entering that room. Let the person know that if they proceed, that you have the right to call the police, and you should call the police if they refuse to leave. So make sure that you stop them from entering the gaming area. Make sure that you ask them to leave, and make sure that you notify management or security, and make sure that this information is recorded in the incident register. It is a very serious issue that needs to be dealt with. And that's why staff need to know exactly who is on the self-exclusion scheme, so they're able to take action if needed. Okay, so that should really help you to get through the written questions. Good luck with it. Anything that you need, please feel free to reach out. We're more than happy to help. If you're stuck with any questions, that's what we're here for. We want you to understand this content and really sort of respect it and be able to utilize it comfortably. So good luck with it, and I'll see you on the next video.